AF Seltzer is now live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
We are gold for energy! Send it! Incoming! Put the money in the bag, man!
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there? This is awesome! Welcome to Earth! No. Who's flying the plane? Get cockpit. Go. God.
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
Welcome to Drinkin Bro. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros. Fake news, everybody. Bringing you the realest, fakest news from the week. What a weird week it's been, man. Government shut down, and then about an hour later, Epstein again. Epstein's all over our faces and bodies again. Republicans are saying it's coming from the left, obviously, now that the shutdown didn't look great for them and everything else. Where do you live with all this stuff right now?
I mean, you can follow the chain of custody. So the Democrats released 3 pages, and then the Republicans released the other 23,000. And apparently, one Republican tried to have them all released a month ago, but the Democrats voted against it. So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't either.
But it doesn't, I don't think Republicans, I honestly, it's hard for me to imagine, given the lawfare against Trump, that there's information out there that's going to fuck with him that they haven't leveraged yet. That doesn't make any.
It would have happened, right?
They waited until after he realigned the Supreme Court, after he clipped 15% of the federal bureaucracy, which is what he's done already in 10 months. 15% of the federal bureaucracy is gone already. After making all these anti-DEI proclamations, starting the process of deregulating medicine, deregulating energy and AI, the Chevron ruling that will now permeate through, like state governments right now, every state attorney general should be suing the federal government for any federal regulation that relied on the Chevron doctrine, which is like a panel of experts that are in the government, not like actual information, because they've made it all up. It's the same thing that led to the food pyramid and all this other bullshit over the years. It's all nonsense. But Trump has done so much already, to include deportation of 2 million illegals, that if just from a reasonable standpoint, I can't imagine that there's any smoke on him, because they would have. I mean, goddamn, dude, this is late in the game.
Well,
you're waiting until fucking the end of the fourth quarter to try to start your 30-point comeback.
Yeah, and the other thing that's kind of triggered a lot of this the other night was they were like, oh, they got this email from Virginia Giuffre that the Democrats released.
I think it's Giuffre or Giuffre.
I don't fucking know, dude.
Giuffre sounds racist.
It does, and I don't want to do that today.
I do, but
do?
I just want to be accurate.
All right.
That's why I study history, to be more accurate.
What does Giuffre come from then?
It sounds French.
All right. Good for her.
And I don't like, we were just talking about it before. I don't think anybody really likes French people.
No, they're a hard culture to love. You know, the women are all right, but the men, kind of weak there. But so they leaked this thing, and then you have her testimony And then this morning there was other testimony that was leaked and played by the DOJ and all this other shit. And let's kind of walk you through it here because the latest and greatest of today, if you believe this, and I'll ask you if you do, here is that New York Times consultant worked for Jeffrey Epstein for 17 years. It's a long fucking time. Landon Thomas Jr., a longtime financial journalist who worked at the New York Times from 2002 to 2019, initially as a correspondent and later as a consultant, developed a close personal and professional relationship with Jeffrey Epstein starting in the early 2000s. This relationship led to instances where Thomas provided Epstein with information that could be seen as advisory or protective, particularly regarding media scrutiny and investigation into Epstein's activities. The why appears to be rooted in Thomas's view of Epstein as a valuable source and friend, which blurred ethical lines and prioritized access over journalistic independence, ultimately contributing to Thomas's departure from the Times.
Yeah.
So he got fired because of Epstein?
He got, I don't know if fired's the right word. He got separated from the company because he was a consultant. So that's not really a firing thing.
Okay.
But yeah. So he started, by the way, it's not a matter of whether I believe it or not. This is evidence that we're talking about, emails that have come out in this latest release. Landon Thomas first profiled Epstein in a very flattering 2002 New York magazine article titled International Money Man of Mystery, portraying him as a mysterious financier with elite connections, including Trump, who was quoted praising Epstein at the time, by the way. By 2008, Thomas covered Epstein's guilty plea to sex crimes involving minors for the Times, but continued to work with him, which is very odd to me.
Yeah.
Right? Emails from this latest batch of Epstein archives that came out from the House Oversight Committee reveal frequent and casual exchanges in the 2010s, including discussions about the 2016 election, Trump's finances, and Epstein's personal life. So one of the things that was going on was Thomas was giving information about ongoing investigations. I don't know about criminal, but definitely investigation by people who are doing research to write books about him and even write books about Trump to try to take Trump down. And Thomas was letting him know that because they had a relationship, people had reached out to him, whatever, for comments.
Okay.
But he told him to be on the lookout because people like James Patterson, who's a thriller,
The author?
Thriller writer, yeah. The thriller writer.
Is the dude.
Like as far as
All time?
the body of work goes.
Oh, God,
yeah.
it's endless.
Yeah. And then a former New York police detective, John Connolly, who you probably, if you saw his face, you probably recognize him, researched their book Filthy Rich, which was published in October 2016, exposing Epstein's sex trafficking. Thompson's email to Epstein says, "Keep getting calls from that guy doing a book on you, John Connolly. He seems very interested in your relationship with the news media, blah, blah, blah." In 2017, like right before this dude gets arrested, thrown in prison, Thomas solicited a $30,000 donation from Epstein, routed through an
Epstein linked?
through an Epstein-linked Virgin Island nonprofit for a Harlem Montessori preschool, O'Gorman Garden, where Thomas served on the board. This violated the New York Times policy after editors had been banned from professional contact with Epstein due to his criminal history. That's why they separated with Thomas. Now, this relationship with these two went on for a very long time, which is odd. It went on a lot later than you would think, right? If it ended in 2008, for this guy specifically, that would make sense. If 2012 or later, after more information was out about Epstein and the plea bargain and all that shit came out, anybody else in media or politics working with him would have been weird too. But it did continue for a lot of people. So there's a lot of other stuff in this latest batch of emails that have been put out, these files, so to speak, the Epstein files, some of them, that haven't really been discussed at length yet, certainly not by us. So one of them is that Epstein said in emails that he had been advising the Russian government on how to deal with Trump. This is during the election, and then after Trump gets elected. one of several cases in which he wielded his connections to try to influence the course of foreign affairs. Now, the question from that is obvious for the left. This is the left that are trying to put this out as a hit piece on Trump for some reason, which is, I don't know why. It seems like it's going to backfire pretty badly. But the question is, why would Russia need advice from Epstein on how to handle Trump if Trump was a fucking foreign or a Russian asset? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, man. It's just, a lot of it's really dumb. And then some of the other emails, there's a lot of this stuff, by the way, so we're not going to be able to cover all of it. But another one that I found particularly interesting was that Epstein described his relationship with foreign leaders and also advised Steve Bannon on how to increase his influence in Europe and offered his assessment of Trump to those who asked. Why the fuck was Steve Bannon talking to Jeffrey Epstein about getting advice from him on how to handle Europe in 2018?
That I can answer. Steve Bannon was actually doing a documentary.
I'm not saying why would Steve
Epstein.
Bannon need information. I'm asking why would there be emails between Epstein and Steve Bannon where the context of the email is not about a documentary but about how to gain more influence in Europe?
Oh, come on. If you're doing a documentary on him and you know what's going on and you've got other questions about other shit, I'm sure a lot of people asked, to be honest with you, over the years, people that would shock your mind that asked Epstein for advice.
It would shock my mind, yes.
Yeah.
Because that's about as morally corrupt as you can get. But I don't think Steve Bannon's a very good guy, so it's not shocking.
I don't either. Yeah, like, is there a... Did you think he had morals? I never did.
No, I mean, it's all really odd to me. There's a lot of stuff about Bill Gates in here, in this latest tranche.
That ended his marriage.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff about Gates, a lot of other people. I guess it's been more or less confirmed that Trump was at least talking. I don't know if I would say state's witness, but he was definitely providing information to the FBI to try to get Epstein prosecuted.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not. And then, the whole context of that one exchange is essentially that Trump knew that I'm a shady fuck. I kept coming around Mar-a-Lago to try to recruit girls. Trump told Ghislaine to knock that shit the fuck off because he didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately Epstein gets banned from Mar-a-Lago for that reason, for being a creep towards the girls that worked at Mar-a-Lago, right? It's... I don't know how they're expecting, like I know Occupy Democrats, which is I think run by a foreign government, to be honest. I don't even think it's American.
I don't either, yeah.
But there are a lot of these leftists, like Twitter pages and Midas Touch, who have been wrong about everything, and then one of their guys I think got indicted for something or investigated. I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't pay attention because they're all fucking gay. All these people are trying to push this as some kind of Trump thing, and it's just like, let's say you're in a dark room committing a crime and you notice that somebody else is committing a crime, so your solution to that is to flip the lights on, and you realize that the other person was not committing a crime and you've just exposed yourself. That's what it feels like to me. So I don't know. It's all very bizarre. It's not shocking that a prominent member of the media would be working with a guy like that. I mean, this is what people that work at people who do media for the Pentagon, this is what they do as well. Mm-hmm. They lie on behalf of the government most of the time so they can maintain their access to it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why when...
And if you do stories that they don't like, they won't give you access.
Yeah, which is when Hegseth said, we're not allowing you full access to anything anymore. Some people got butthurt about that. And it's like, let's not pretend like you guys have been above board this whole time. You've been saying stuff that is demonstrably true, are demonstrably untrue. Like the way things went down with the Abbey Gate bombing in Afghanistan and how we had prior knowledge that something was about to go down. Every news correspondent that's a Pentagon fucking liaison person said, no, that wasn't true. I know for a fucking fact it was true. 2 separate Tier 1 operators that don't know each other told me that, that were in country at the time. Stuff like that, right? They just repeat whatever the aristocratic class tells them to say because that's what they are. You've seen these memes, but it used to be that there's the body of people and the media is a megaphone shouting at people in power, and then it flipped. It turned around where they're just propagandizing everybody now. So this doesn't shock me at all. It's been going on for a long time. But it is good to see it exposed. I don't think anybody's ever going to get prosecuted for anything, frankly, ever.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
But I think it's good for people to see just how immoral and incompetent these motherfuckers are, because you shouldn't take any of them seriously, frankly. And I also think something else, something else big happened this week, and it's happened a number of times over the course of this year, where there are some people on either political side that say criticism of your own side is off limits. Netter is the way the right said, no enemies to the right of me, right? I only fight the left. Mm-hmm. That's something that some people say, which is fucking stupid, by the way. You're not aligned to the right. You're aligned to your principles. You're supposed to be, right?
I just look at right and wrong.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, so one of the things that's really effective these days is what one of my friends calls champing out on the internet. Mm-hmm. Anytime something, let's just say somebody says, because there's a housing crisis, we should do 50-year mortgages. And everybody's like, that's fucking stupid. And then you get the initial reaction, you don't support us, or you don't support Trump or whatever. And then 2 days later you hear Trump is fucking pissed at this dummy who suggested he say that. It's like, all right, cool. So now this is how it works. Trump has advisors. He's not an expert on literally everything. Nobody is. That's not the job of the president. The job of the president is to be a good manager. So he has so-called experts. Sometimes they're right. A lot of the time with him, they've been right because he hired good people. Sometimes they're going to be wrong. This is one of those cases. But if there's two things that happen in these cycles. One is that bad ideas have to get met with force, right? Like you have to say, no, that's stupid. Here's why. And everybody did. And it worked. Now they're not talking about that. That's not going to be a thing anymore. The other one is, particularly during campaign season, is a lot of these ideas come from donors because they want to try to use their money to buy shit in politics. And it comes in the form of, here's some money for your campaign. By the way, have you thought about doing this policy or that policy? It's not always like, I don't know if it's strictly unethical, but it is what happens, right? And when you chimp out, as my buddy calls it, on the internet or wherever the fuck else, and just say, no, this is retarded nonsense, then you give that politician the ability to go back to the donor and say, hey, look, I appreciate it, but the people are not going to support that, so I can't do it, right?
Right.
That's part of having your voice is not just voting. It's literally, in the modern age, going fucking nuts and saying, no, that's retarded. We cannot do that, and here's why. So keep doing that. It's very effective, especially with this administration, because it's not just about Trump's ego. Part of it is that. Part of it is that he actually listens. Like he wants things to work well. He wants to be popular too. He doesn't care about the power. He wants to be popular. That is a trait that you can work with. Somebody that just wants power for its own sake, good luck. But if somebody wants to leverage power into popularity, then you can affect that person in a good way, right? Just by like collectively saying the right things to them. So I think it's a good thing that's been happening lately.
Yeah, but my issue is this with a couple of the statements from Trump. Here, let's take this 50-year mortgage thing. I don't care that came from somebody that works underneath you. If I pitched you an idea, no matter what idea I pitch you, if you like it or don't like it, you will be vocal about it. I've never heard you be wishy-washy on one thing or the other, right? Especially if it's a bad idea.
No, but like...
That is a bad idea that I would not repeat, and I would say immediately, that sounds fucking crazy, and I'm not going to say that.
You have to put yourself in the position where you're working 20-hour days and your entire job is to solve everybody's problems, right? So
I'm pretty much there already.
You're not even. No, you're not.
Not on the world, right? But I feel even on a hard seltzer company or a media company or writing a fucking book that comes out, shameless plug, on Tuesday here, it's a lot of shit to do. I only sleep 4 or 5 hours a night. I couldn't imagine running a goddamn country. Yeah. But as soon as as soon as I heard this, a 50-year mortgage, immediately, I don't give a fuck how exhausted I am. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard of.
Maybe he's, I think you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe it is that there was some pressure from the banks that donate, or this group or that group or this policy advisor or somebody else, like, hey, Just say it and see how people react. That's what it's a good thing to do in a democratic society, right? In a constitutional republic, it's even more important because we're entrusting these people to make decisions on our behalf after we vote for them, to some degree at least. And part of that process is like, I think this is fucking stupid. So you don't believe me? You're going to put pressure on me? Here, let's tell it to people and see how they fucking react. Now, the smarter way to do it would be to use a surrogate and not do it yourself.
Yes.
Right? That would be the smarter way to do it. Definitely a 50-year mortgage is fucking nonsense. That's stupid. Right?
Yeah.
The whole point of a mortgage in that regard is to be different from renting, but it's not different from renting. When you have 15 years at the front end of a mortgage that's all the front-loaded interest, that means on your 50-year mortgage, unless you hold it for 16 years, you never make a dime on it. That doesn't make any sense because most people don't live in the same house for 15, 16 years anymore.
Or shit, on a 50-year mortgage, you'd be looking at 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it's the execution was very poor, but the strategy itself is smart. I think you should put information out into the public and see how people react. It's a good barometer whether or not you're on track to some degree. So,
but yeah. I would leave it with a question. And so, like a lot of our listeners have asked you and I personally, would we ever run for any of these offices and positions? My answer was yes. I don't know what your answer is, but I would have to do it after the kids are grown. Because I'm coaching all their stuff and everything else, and I don't want them in that world. Similar to Josh Shapiro, like I understand that response from him saying, "Hey, I got young kids, I don't want to get them involved in this shit." But I would absolutely do it. But if there was something that was for, let's say, it was our community that we lived in, I would pose the question: do you guys think this is a good idea? I would not just come out and say it as a statement of like, "Yeah, man, I think this is a fucking great idea." I would pose it as, what do you guys think of this? And I wish that happened more rather than just throwing all this shit out there.
Well, I mean, that's how Trump communicates, though, for better or worse. This shouldn't come as any real surprise to him.
It's not a surprise. I just don't like it because let's take what you said at the top of the show. Shit's been going pretty goddamn good for him as president of the United States.
I mean, it has been, not that you would notice from the way that people talk about it. I mean, again.
But who are those people besides the media and, I guess, fucking Democrats who've lost their mind?
Well, yeah, Democrats are obviously never going to admit to anything good he's done, but the broader libertarian class, because they're contrarian by nature, have to find fault in everything. Like, I regret doing that. Like, really, you regret not voting for Kamala Harris? Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Nobody actually.
I've never heard one person say that to me.
They say that this isn't what Trump's doing isn't what they voted for, which is absolute nonsense. I mean, immigration has halted. Inflation is down. 15%.
Groceries, gas, all of it.
Well, groceries are consistent with inflation. They haven't come down relative to inflation. They've stayed consistent with it, and that is what it is. It's stagnated, but it is there. Energy, way down, right? Energy's down by quite a bit, actually. Also fired 15% of the federal bureaucracy. Energy and AI deregulation has happened, which is the only reason we're keeping up with China right now. We need to build nuclear plants to continue it. And then that Chevron thing, to include what he did in the first term with the Supreme Court, is really important. And the way he's handling our inflationary currency, this is a much longer discussion that is kind of in the weeds, and I don't know if I can explain it in a way. I feel like I understand it okay, but I don't know if I understand it well enough to explain it. But we are the world's reserve currency, right? Mm-hmm. So when the U.S. dollar is inflated, it affects the entire world. Inflating our currency on small levels, short term, allows us to outsource U.S. federal spending to the entire world because they're operating on the same currency as we are.
And we just did it to, who is it, Venezuela? We bought up their...
No, that was...
not Venezuela.
Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah.
We bought up their debt, and it was a quick $5 billion we made off of that deal. Like, I understand shit like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, but this is way more complicated because it's even when we do intentionally inflationary things, not like what Biden did, like just printing money like crazy. Even at the end of the Trump administration, the first one, by the way, he did the same thing, so he's not blameless there. But because we're the world's reserve currency, we have to print money to fund our government for some brief amount of time, that cost actually gets distributed across the whole world. It isn't just us paying for it. And then when we, the interesting thing is when we create a deflationary period, which is what Trump's trying to do now through two things, tariffs and reindustrialization, then we're the only ones that benefit from that, technically, because we pull dollars back in from the international market back into the domestic market. This is like a 1-2 punch that has not been explained by anybody in government. I haven't heard Besant talking about this or Howard Lutnick or anybody, but this is like mechanical economics, and it makes a lot of sense the way they're doing it. But have you heard anybody explain this?
Well,
one time.
So I watch all those news shows over the weekend on Sunday mornings, usually across the board. And usually they send out Besant or Vance or somebody, right? And Besant is
That's the thing that irritates me the most, because they've got, technically, I would say 3 dudes.
Rubio's out there all the time.
But
He's very good.
Rubio's got like his fucking LinkedIn is just like a bunch of 2025 through present over and over again. He's got every job in the book. So I don't expect him to be out there stumping. But Vance's job is to do that. Besant's job, aside from managing what he's doing, is to do that. Howard Lutnick's job is to do that. So they got 3 dudes that really understand economic policy that should be out there explaining exactly what we're doing.
So they are,
right? They're not though.
They
not,
are.
Not one of them. Not one of them has said what I just said.
Because it's too far over people's heads. So like,
then do a long form conversation that explains the whole thing.
But here's the thing,
JD Vance, you can come on our show. Scott Besant, you can come on our show.
Yes, love to have you guys.
And we will discuss this ad nauseum, because I think that it is really important for people to understand, 1, that it's a complex situation, 2, that the strategy we're using makes sense, and 3, that it's going to take a minute for it to fucking work.
Right.
I think those 3 things are really important for people to understand, and they would stop all this fucking nihilistic bitching and crying about, oh, we didn't fucking blah, 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 we wanted more and faster and whatever. I get it, dude. Slow the fuck down. Life is complicated. You don't get results overnight, and the right actions are being taken right now. And then it would also help to there would be a center, left, and right groundswell of support for it if people actually understood it. So this legalese bullshit that the Democrats keep trying to pull through the judges and through fucking being obstructionists would not work, or it would be deeply unpopular and it would affect them in the next election. These things are all really important. It's what I've been talking about the last month with communicating this stuff to people. It doesn't matter how good your fucking plan is. If people don't understand it, they're gonna quit. They're gonna bail on the plan.
Right, but you've got to explain it in a manner that is simple enough for the most Americans to understand. And right now, as soon as they start talking, you get lost in it, because it's like a fucking Econ 101 class, and who wants to watch it or listen to it for an hour? And people are just checking out.
Well, we'll do it.
So I've seen Lutnick, I've seen Besant, and by the way, I've seen him describe everything you're saying on multiple networks.
They definitely haven't described what I just described.
But here's the problem. When these moderators or whoever it is, what's her fucking name?
None of them are smart enough. So
that's what I'm saying. So they don't even know the questions to ask to follow up.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're lost, and they don't even know where to go with these people. And truthfully, I don't either, because that's not my lane. And me talking about it economically to people, I don't fucking know.
Well, I think there's a way, like the I don't know if it's apocryphal or not, but there's this quote allegedly from Einstein where if you can't explain your idea to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it. I think there's some work to be done in that regard on figuring out how to explain this stuff to people who just their interaction with the economy is their bank account and what they spend every day, and that's it, right? Like they're not into investing. They don't know long-term economic trends or even the fundamentals of economics. I think there's a conversation to be had that can distill that information into something practical that you can hand to people, and not just for this situation, but for any situation, right? Like just to understand how global economies work and stuff like that now, which is what we're in. There's a guy that lives here in Austin, actually. He's a libertarian dude, Austin Paget. I had him on Citizen this morning. We'll have him on sometime in the next couple of weeks and go in depth on this for people. But I think that'll reach our audience. The problem is that there's millions of people out there that need to hear this shit distilled down into a very simple idea. It's a complex mechanism, but the idea itself is pretty simple.
Right, but the problem is, let's take this government shutdown, and we learned that 42 million people were on SNAP. We learned that $17 billion has been spent on Walmart.com for fucking Oreos. I don't think those people are going to take the time to be like, man, I really want Scott Besant to sit down and tell me about the economic structure when all they're doing is just reordering Oreos on fucking Walmart.com.
Yeah, that's fine. Those people have to be cut off entirely. To be fair,
well, that argument's been going on for a while,
and so do the people that are abusing our healthcare system. And I don't just mean the people that are profiting off of it. I mean people that are fucking that live poorly and try to outsource their poor life choices to everybody else's wallets. It's immoral to do that. Sorry. Like if you get random cancer or something, we will come together and fix that for you if we have the ability to do it technologically speaking. But if you eat yourself into type 2 diabetes, sorry, bud. That's on you. You got to go fucking cut your foot off in the ditch somewhere. We have to affect inputs and not outputs. It is a postmodernist idea that you can affect outputs. Think about the difference between equality of opportunity versus the equality of outcome, right? Marxism wants the equality of outcome. So does, I guess you could call it socially conservative communists, which is what the far right is basically. Like they're still engaged in group politics and stuff like that, which is nonsense. But we need to start affecting inputs and not just outputs. Or as I say frequently, try to solve these issues as far upstream as possible instead of downstream. A downstream solution is to ban guns. An upstream solution is to field better people, to create better human beings that don't live in abject poverty, for example, or don't create parallel economies with which they choose to use weapons to defend those parallel economies and blah, 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 all this other stuff, right? But the way that you affect inputs and not outputs in social order is education, right? And then that education is the carrot. The stick is consequence. If we're going to give you the tools, if you don't use them, then you're going to fucking prison, period. You don't have the fucking right to disabuse everybody else of their rights because you're too lazy or too stupid or too violent to get along in society. And this is about affecting inputs. So these people that are spending $4 billion a year on fucking Oreos or whatever it is, 25% of SNAP is getting spent on Oreos or some shit like that, or just junk food. They have to be cut off. Like, and I'm not gonna. The Maha people right now are talking about banning certain foods. No, you're not. I will make ultra processed foods in my fucking basement if you try to ban them and provide them to anybody that wants them because you don't have the right to do that. However, the government shouldn't be paying for that shit. If we're gonna pay for you to eat while you're trying to get your feet back under you, it's a good idea not to fucking worry about you getting your foot cut off in 2 years from diabetes. So we're going to feed you whole foods, period, right? And you're not, like these SNAP and WIC things don't apply to soda, don't apply to processed foods, don't apply to fucking candy. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's not tenable for our society. We need to create better people with inputs and not just expect to come down to the output level and try to affect change there because it will not work.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is when I was in New York, they were trying to ban soda.
Yeah.
All of it. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, everything, or put a crazy tax on it. And their point was, we did this with cigarettes. When I was there, because I used to smoke back in the day, Daddy liked his Parliaments. Wink, wink. But they put a $15 tax on it. So cigarettes were like $17 in New York City. A lot of people quit smoking from it. You know what I'm saying? And they were hoping the same thing would happen with soda, I guess. And then too many people bitched, and it was about the Snap thing, and this is what I buy on Snap and everything else. Because, by the way, the soda is top 5 on there. You know that, which is fucking crazy to me. But it's also where you're getting your messaging from. Right now, we're getting our messaging, or a lot of people still, from the news or the mainstream media, and it's not correct. So then they're turning to podcasts. And then some of those podcasters aren't correct. I think we do a fairly decent job of getting it right most of the time. 95% maybe here and there, but then let's say you become a fan of somebody and then you fall into their shit as well, and that's not correct. It's like, Bob, I just sent you the thing right now because Megyn Kelly is trending #1, and they want her fucking canceled. And this will relate back to the Epstein thing here. I emailed it to you.
They want her canceled because what, of that conversation she had with Bhatia?
Play the
one
video
where
here.
the one where she says that he's not a pedophile.
Yeah, play the video. Because I have not heard this. The listeners have been tagging me in this, and they're like, "Hey,
That's my friend Bhatti on the right.
oh, you know
by the
her?
way. Yeah.
Okay, great.
She's been on the show.
Okay, press play.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything. And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. And that is what I believed, and that was what I reliably was told for many years. And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos of alleged, forgive me, they used to call it kiddie porn, now they call it child sexual abuse material, on his computer, that for the first time I thought, oh, no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore. Yeah, so I don't know what's true about him, but we have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was I was under 10. I was under 14 when I first came within his purview. Look, you can say that's a distinction without a difference.
No, it's not.
I think there is a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. Yeah. You know, it's just whatever.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that is a medical fact. Like a legal medical fact is that pedophilia is prepubescent, so 0 to 12. And then after 12, it's a different word. I can't remember the name. Hebophilia or some shit like that. She says distinction without a difference. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I mean, I think... for let's use 15 specifically. Yeah. Because that's the number she used.
That is a freshman in high school.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a sophomore.
No,
I was 14 as a freshman.
Both.
Oh, you were.
It's both.
You were. Yeah. It depends on what your birthday
You're
was.
14, 15 freshman, 15,
yeah.
16 sophomore.
But freshman in high school, obviously, that would be a problem. But not if you're 19. There's Romeo and Juliet laws to that effect in almost every single state, as a matter of fact. Right. I don't know what the exact laws are for every state, but I know that they exist in every state, and it's different. Sometimes it's 4 years, sometimes it's 2. Depends, right? Sometimes you have to have known the person prior to the age difference or whatever the fuck. Or
sometimes you have to play for the Utah Jazz.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes
power forward.
Sometimes you've got to score 25,000 points in the NBA. Yeah, there's literal legal definitions there. And this is a question for everybody. Would you look at somebody differently that was 40 years old dating a 17-year-old or 16 or 15-year-old than you would a 40-year-old who was trying to have sex with an 8-year-old? Would that be a different person to you?
No. Me personally. And at no point was Epstein 19 and any of these girls were 15, obviously, because he appears to be like Morgan Freeman, the white Morgan Freeman, where he was always been 65.
Yeah, but that's why the difference between pre and post pubescence is the legal standard for most states when it comes to the varying degrees of crimes with which you can be charged. It's wrong no matter what. And I think Megyn actually she's
did
pretty
say
clear.
that. She did say that.
Pretty
Yes.
clear about that.
Yes.
And I think I don't know what the broader context of that conversation was about, but if it was about the unreliability and the lack of information from Bondi's office leading to speculation, Bindergate. I mean, look, nobody's going to argue that here. I don't know why she should be canceled over anything for once. For the first part, but just about that's fucking stupid.
Well, the internet is obviously saying that she's standing up for him to a certain degree. By
she
saying,
literally
hey,
said she's not.
No, I know. But saying 15 and he liked the barely legal and all this other shit, and it's just like,
Well, just from a legal and psychological standpoint, it's not the same. You may feel like it is, but that's not how it is.
Well, I got kids, and so yeah, it's a different story, and also mentally, emotionally, and all that other shit.
Yeah,
Like,
but there's polarity.
would
there,
I want
right?
a 40-year-old dating my 15-year-old daughter?
What about
No.
a 19-year-old?
19 and 15 would be dicey too. Like
I'll tell
I
you
wouldn't
this:
be.
if one of my sons was 19 and dating a 15-year-old, I'd be like, no fucking way.
Same here.
No fucking way.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you wouldn't have the same conversation with him if he was trying to date a 10-year-old, would you? Not even fucking close. It's not even the same conversation, right?
No.
But I hope he doesn't date both. Like
Well, sure, you hope he doesn't. You hope he doesn't fucking steal, and you also hope he doesn't shoot up a school.
Yeah.
But you hope for one more.
I mean, I'm hoping for all of it.
No,
though, all
no.
involved.
Don't, that's not the conversation. That's not the conversation.
But
The conversation is there a difference? And there is clearly a difference.
But I, as a parent, would have a problem with both.
Just seems like
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure you should.
Just seems like an odd thing to get. Not that it's wrong to say or incorrect to say, but is this the time to be pedantic? Type of thing.
That's exactly the way I looked at
Right.
it. Why would that be the hill to fucking even attempt to climb today? Like I wouldn't have done it if I were her. So
I don't know what the
Yeah.
broader context of that conversation was. Were they talking
it was all about Epstein. It's all
but
wall to wall
that,
Epstein.
That doesn't tell me anything. Were they talking about Bondi being an unreliable source of information, or that there's a lot of speculation about the actual details of the case? Because
Speculation about the details of the
Yeah,
case
that's
and
true.
whether or
Someone-
not these women were some of these people allegedly. And again, allegedly, I have not seen these. What was it? 40,000 hours of tapes or 10,000 hours of tapes.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
there was.
it sounds like to me the context was probably something along the lines of someone called him a pedophile, and maybe Megyn Kelly just pushes her glasses up and is like, well, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. People trying to seem like they're
But it's shorthand.
smarter.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
short. It's calling someone a pedophile for banging someone underage is just shorthand.
Yeah.
For the whole thing, even though yes, technically they have to be prepubescent for it to be that level of whatever.
It's I don't. Yeah, the legal distinction doesn't use any of these words, by the way. Yeah. Like there's no law in America against pedophilia specifically. It's child exploitation or child sexual exploitation, and then there are degrees. I think under 12 or under 13, Bob, that is the case in a lot of states.
My guess
right?
is it varies state by state. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think under 13 is it's not a universal standard, but it's a very common one for that reason, right? So she's on to something. I don't like. Of all the examples you could have used to show that there's information,
Not the one today.
That's probably just like we don't need to read. I don't think it's like
Hitler had some good ideas.
I just don't know that how useful it is to litigate that. You know what I mean? Cause,
I don't either.
Because the good test standard is the conversation that we just had. One of them is clearly worse. I don't think. I maybe some people would disagree with that. I think that is an
No, one is clearly worse. Yes.
One is clearly worse.
That I will agree with you on.
And if, regardless of what the roles were, whether you were the parent of the victim or the abuser, to use that language, you would have different conversations with both, but you would have a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Both times,
Yes,
right?
yes,
So I just don't like of all the, and look, people, we talk without notes all day long, every day. For like probably 3 to 4 hours every single day, we speak without notes.
Well,
so you're going to say some dumb shit sometimes?
I had a
That just-
conversation with Tubi. We're at 7,500 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
I don't know what 1% of that is, but it's too much to keep track of. And if 1% of the shit we say is dumb, or it's a bad example, or there's second and third order implications that make us look like dicks, I mean, that's going to happen. Talking about canceling fucking Megyn Kelly is stupid. If we were going to cancel her for anything, it should have been when she said that Santa was white. I didn't appreciate that. No, Santa is not white. No.
Yeah, that's Jesus is. Man, we will get that fixed eventually. I promise you. But Santa is white, old.
He's standing in the
married.
corner over
Yeah,
there.
he's back. Well,
Yeah.
that's Blanta. That's
Yeah.
the black Santa. But
he's
and then
hiding-
Jesus.
he's
Jesus
actually-
obviously is white with blonde hair and blue eyes.
He's actually hiding from the cops back there.
Yeah, he's. Well, we're not sure. He only speaks Spanish, so maybe he's hiding for ICE.
I just try to tell people all the time. Santa's race doesn't matter. What matters is that he's the patron saint of prostitutes.
Sure. And as long as the prostitutes are of age,
Yeah.
Bob, then
No,
we can
that's-
chat about it.
that's-
Have we ever
a
done?
true
Did
story.
you guys do a soft core? Candace tells me this shit all the time because she knows a lot about like old school Viking culture. But have you guys done a deep dive on the Viking version of Saint Nick?
Maybe we've
Where
done.
it was like mushrooms and like
Yes,
the
we
gift.
have.
The gift that he brings is so there's this mushroom that grows in Scandinavia that will kill you as a human being, but if you let a deer eat it first and then you drink the deer's piss, you get fucking wrecked.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So the shaman would come around and I guess I don't know. She would have to recount this because I don't remember the exact.
Similar to
details.
ayahuasca,
But
it
basically,
sounds like.
I don't think he's passing out piss. He's drinking piss and then giving you your fortune for the year or some
Yeah.
bullshit like that.
Great.
And that's not the story I was taught growing up. As a matter of fact, reindeer were mentioned, not deer.
Yeah.
And then no piss.
No.
I don't remember anything about piss. So I feel like I've been lied to.
There was one where we tried to trap him in a bathroom one year, and because it was like, well, Santa's got to go at some point, right? So maybe we can catch him in the bathroom.
What were you gonna do?
I just want to fucking chat with him, hang out with him. My kids, I hear them at night, and so we have to tape shit upstairs. So obviously they can't see and everything else. But yeah, they try to fucking capture him.
The gift is his
on
vision.
video.
She's in the chat. The gift is his vision.
Santa's vision?
Yeah.
Of
Well,
the
not
future?
Santa. It's this fucking old weirdo that, like, imagine living in a society where the guy who drinks deer piss got elevated. Like
We're in it.
He's a status guy.
Yeah.
Right. It's like
It's Joe Rogan.
no.
kidding.
No. The equivalent would be somebody like Aubrey Marcus, and we rightly and justly ridicule him
Right,
at all
right,
times.
right.
So at I'm a Viking myself, and I don't know how I feel about that. I like the fact that we were using psychotropic drugs.
Yeah.
Mostly before anybody else. The Greeks had kykeon back in the day, but we still don't know exactly what that was. But I like the fact that we were using psychotropic drugs. Not sure so much about the piss.
Okay. Fair enough.
But who am I to judge?
You're not. This will lead us to our first sponsor of the day, mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Get off the couch and get into the action today with mybookie.com.
Can we rename this show to Politics and Piss?
We could. We can do it afterwards. Why not? It hasn't gone out yet tonight.
I'll see why not.
I love this fucking fun flirty square you posted here. This is great. So this is my bookie. Partner picks, Bob. Scroll over to the partner picks there. This is a new feature that's going to show what we're actually betting on and what our lock of the week is. So I submitted it right before the show aired. Did he have time to put it up?
It's not
I
up
usually
yet.
turn my phone upside down unless it starts blowing up.
It's not up yet because we just submitted them. But
Okay.
I will get to the partner. picks.
So on mybookie.com, you're going to be able to see the partner picks once you're in there, and it's kind of like your locks of the week. My lock of this week that I submitted was Georgia -6.5 against Texas. It is at Georgia. It is between the hedges. Good luck. I think it is a good night, Texas. This is the end of the playoff discussion. I don't want to hear about that team anymore, and I think it's over. So that is going to be my partner pick of the week. Also love Oklahoma at Alabama. That is -6, and I'm taking Alabama in that one. I wasn't thinking about on Ohio State because I don't know if they're fucking benching people for this goddamn game. So
I wouldn't count on
those two. Actually matter, and I would bet on.
What is it for Ohio State? 25.5?
No, it's like 33 or something.
Oh
bullshit.
God, no! Come
I'm
on.
not doing that.
They're probably going to win by 28.
I don't even know if they're going to start half their fucking team. We'll see. But these games mean a lot, and I think Georgia's going to bring them to business at home. -6.5. That is my lock of the week on mybookie.com. But you can bet on everything. Heisman Trophy, NFL. Dude, the NFL MVP favorite is Drake May, for Christ's sakes.
For now.
That's wild to me. I would have. No.
You gotta think that if they continue the way they're going right now, that Danny Dimes has got to be up there.
Oh, yeah.
But then Matt Stafford has 25 tutties and 2 interceptions. He's on pace for 47 and 4 for the season.
You can also pick who's going to go into the playoffs for college football, who's going to get the buys for college football. And Bob, I'll ask you this because it was mentioned this morning on one of the sports talk shows. I couldn't watch ESPN, so I think it was on Fox, like FS1 or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
There is a possibility, since Ohio State and Indiana are 1 and 2, that if they play in the Big Ten championship undefeated, the loser will still be in the top 4 and get a bye, and then 2 Big Ten teams will get a bye. You agree with that?
Yes.
Because if you do, then you can bet on it.
If they're 1 and 2, I don't think Indiana or Ohio State would drop out of the top 4.
Okay.
I would be shocked.
Awesome. So who's up there now? Who's the picks that they have up right now? For partner
Mike
picks?
Bone, Sean Ross. I got some boxing highs pick of the week. So what you do is you go to Sportsbook up at the top here.
Yep.
And then it just literally the next line, like the main line right above the fold is featured, bet boost, live, whatever. Partner picks is the last one. You go to that. Our picks will be up there so you can see our locks.
There we go.
Week.
There we go. Bob, do you have one? Are you doing one, Bob?
They boost the odds. Yeah, I gave them.
They boost the odds?
They boost
They do.
the odds, yeah.
Fuck yeah. So can I bet on my own shit
Great
with the
question.
odds boosted?
Yeah, great question. But yeah, I gave them 2 picks as well. I gave them South Florida to cover 10.5 against Navy, and I gave them Indiana, Wisconsin over 44.5.
You know what we should do? We should talk about how we're trying to scam our advertiser during the ad read. Which is
It's
what
not
you
that,
just did.
dude. I'm just, look,
Piece
if I
of
can make
shit.
some extra money, I can make some extra money. I don't give a fuck, dude. It's about winning.
Yeah, that's what people say when they're stealing.
It's not stealing. I want to win more money. If I can do it with my own fucking promo code, I will. Let's go to mybookie.com. Use that promo code Drinkin Bro. Double that first deposit. And I want to bet on my own pick, for Christ's sakes. Win more money. Fuck off. Next up, shutdown. President Donald Trump signed legislation to fund the government again, putting an end to the longest government shutdown in United States history. Trump signaled Monday the government would be open soon as consequences of a lapse in funding continued to snowball, including missed paychecks for federal workers, airline delays stemming from air traffic controllers, and staffing shortages. The bill also keeps funding the government at the same levels during the fiscal year 2025 through January 30th to provide additional time to hash out a longer appropriations measure for fiscal year 2026. The measure also funds the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, aka SNAP, that more than 42 million Americans rely on through September. The program supports non or low income individuals or families to purchase groceries on a debit card. Additionally, the measure reverses layoffs the Trump administration sets into motion earlier in October and pays employees for their absence. The reopening of the government comes 43 days after a lapse in funding amid a stalemate between Republicans and Democrats here for our great nation and their constituents. So what do you think? Because the rumor is this is going to go on in 2026 as well. That's all I'm hearing.
I mean, yeah, at the end of January, probably.
Democrats are pissed at other Democrats.
Yeah. Yeah, people are saying there's like a fracture in the Democratic Party. That's not. I mean, I don't believe that. There's bitching, but they're all still fucking communists.
I think it is fractured. I think the moderate Democrats are fractured from the progressives. And again, I've said this for a fucking year now at this point. The only people that are getting any oxygen in the media are the progressives or the socialists or the communists or whatever the fuck we're calling them these days. And the amount of people, because I try to listen to all the shit, read all the shit from all CNN, everywhere else, is the anger. Oh, shit, Jon Stewart, dude. I watched The Daily Show on Monday night. Jon Stewart just went absolutely scorched earth on the Democrats and Chuck Schumer, whereas the week before, he was saying, President Trump's keeping on your fucking SNAP money and everything else. And it's like, okay, so the goal was to keep the government shut down? And he said they had all the leverage and that even Jon Stewart said he betrayed the Democrats and everything else. Why? Over what? What was the betrayal over? I mean, starving people or what?
They want Obamacare funded for the next 3 years. That's what they want.
But for illegals. That's part of it.
That's part of it, yeah, but they want it in general. Yeah, I don't know. Well, Jon Stewart is a clown. He sells outrage to people. Just like that's what if you live in.
He used to not do that.
No, not he used to. A lot of people used to not do that. Tucker's somebody who's always done it. To be honest, that's like made his bones on Crossfire. Let's be real about that. That's where he got famous, and that whole show was set up to be adversarial. And Jon Stewart actually went on his show in, I think, 2014 and said, "You're fucking up the country." Maybe it was earlier than that, actually.
No, it was like the aughts.
2008, maybe.
It's like, I think before.
We're not calling it the odds.
Before Obama.
Or is it 04?
You
I was
can't
05,
talk
06,
me
something
into
like
the
that.
odds.
It's the odds.
Ryan,
The odds.
you're young. Is it the odds?
It's the odds. Yeah,
Gay.
it's odd 8.
Either way, if that's what you do, like if you're a commentator or none of these people are journalists, let's be real, but if you're a commentator and your entire delivery style, if your motif is based around conflict, then you have to have conflict. There's no somebody just put it in the chat. I just saw it. Greg Zabo, competition versus conflict. Those are not the same thing, right? One of them is rooted in being an adversarial contrarian, which means you can never be satisfied with the outcome. You've always got to have something to bitch about because that's the thing about your character that separates you from everybody else, right?
I know a lot of people like that.
I'm a good person because I'm trying to make things better. That's the underlying idea, which is a really good idea, right? That's a very good idea to align yourself in a way that you say, I'm going to try to make things better all the time, and that's one of the ways I can tell that I'm a good person. However, if you allow that to metastasize into just being a contrarian for its own sake, then you never actually get anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
as soon as you said it, 5 people popped into my mind.
It's not a worldview, and that's what you see in political commentary, both in media and online.
I think in real life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I hear that, and I see these people in real life.
But it starts with the talking head class, of which we are part, where people are like, you know, my buddy Austin I talked to this morning, he says it perfectly. If you refuse to give people credit when they're actually right and give them the time to action their plan before you start criticizing it and stuff like that in earnest, then you lose your authenticity and standing as a commentator. Like your opinion doesn't mean anything anymore. You're just a cunt. He doesn't say that. I do. I don't think he even swears. But you're just a cunt. That's all you are. You're just somebody who's trying to profit off of the division at that point, whether you want to or not, which is why you have to start at these. We all, I think, most people are fundamentally good. I believe that. I think they're weak, but they're fundamentally good. And we start at these principled things, and then we fucking, graft on new things, or we separate or whatever the fuck. And we end up in spots sometimes where we don't want to be, or where we shouldn't be. And that's what's happened in our political commentary now, because it's just partly from the media side, it's a grift, but from the individual side, it's not a grift. The people that think this way because of that underlying ideology, like things are fucked up and I want to make them better. And this is how I can do it, is to bitch about it, right? That's one way you can do it, is to voice complaints. Another way you can do it is to actually solve problems, right? And one of the things about solving problems is the scientific method. You see this test that's going on, identify a flaw in it, and say it, right? And then you come up with a new hypothesis, try and test that and see if it works. You don't just say, I'm going to quit, or this sucks, or everything sucks, or I'm nihilist, or whatever the fuck, right? And that's kind of the trap we're in now. It's why I tell people with this healthcare debate, the right correctly reacts to somebody saying we want free healthcare by rolling their eyes, or like, no, nothing's free, that's stupid. But what the person is saying is that we should take care of each other. That in the richest, most powerful country in the history of the world, probably is unethical to tell people they can be as healthy as they can afford to be, especially when the government is stealing 40% of their money. Right? So that's something that the right and left in principle agree on. 98% of people agree on that. There's studies on this actually from NCRI. 98% of people agree with that premise. And the fact that it is a 50-50 or 45-45 10 like in center issue is because of bad actors in the media, or just a lack of comprehension, or a lack of willingness to listen to what the other person is actually saying. And then notice that two things happen. One, I get past the rhetoric and hear what they're actually saying, and like, okay, that's a fundamentally good person that has an idea that might be a naive or historically won't work. And then I say to myself after that, the second stage of that is, what historically inaccurate or naive thoughts am I having? And how is it fucking diluting the actual conversation that we're fucking having right now? And am I being a net benefit to this? And it's something you got to do both things. Being a critic doesn't mean shit unless you're critical of yourself. That's the point.
Yeah, and shit, speaking of calls this morning, our buddy Brent Pella called me this morning, and he was talking about funding he gotten for a movie and was worried about this and that and the other, joke-wise or whatever, and he goes, how did you get around it throughout your career? And I was like, well, if you start off as a dirtbag and you just keep being the same dirtbag for 25 years, you can get away with all this other shit. But that's comedically, right? As a person, I like to think I'm a pretty good person. I help people out and all that other shit. And I think that's how you kind of have to view it and look at it. If somebody shuts down an idea so quickly just because it came from an R or a D before their name, I automatically dismiss them. Mm-hmm. I just don't. Let me hear what it is first. Even the Trump thing with the 50-year mortgage, right? I heard it. I don't like it. And I've voiced my opinion on it. I'll listen, though, all the time and try to say, all right, why could this work? Why did you do it? Why did you do this? And then I'll tell you that it's fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. The healthcare thing, to me, which is why I think the government will shut down again, is not going to be solved by either side. One side wants one thing, even funding Obamacare. Funding Obamacare is so fucking expensive, and I don't think you're going to get the Democrats to sign off on, all right, even if you convince the Republicans that, all right, we want the money for Obamacare and we need these people that are on it to maintain it and keep it and be able to have health care. Affordable health care is what they're saying. I still don't think they're going to cave on the fact of, hey, we're not funding illegals to have fucking free health care in this country.
Maybe not. We'll see how it goes. Trump's going to be able to put some pretty decent pressure on them between now and then. I mean, one of the things that needs to happen immediately, and I know that they're working on it, I just don't know how quickly they can implement it, is deregulation in medicine, right? So
China already has that, right?
I'm not sure what China does, but right now the regulatory process is costing. It's driving up costs for medicine by about 2,000%, and there's like 2 or 3 deregulation. You can look this stuff up.
It's cheap as fuck to make, by the way.
Yeah, you can collapse medical costs by about 50%.
Yes.
Over the course of 1 month.
Fuck yeah.
If you deregulate certain things. There's plenty of studies out there on that. You can read them yourself. I'm not gonna try to paraphrase them because I don't know. I'm not as read into that as I should be, but I certainly understand the economics of it, which is the regulatory process. Actually, what Mark Cuban is trying to do is, as much as you may not like Mark Cuban, I'm not a fan of him either, but an idea is an idea. What he's doing with his pharmaceutical company is helping a lot, actually. And if Trump leans into that, I think the government is helping them with funding and stuff like that and contracts. But the second part of it is deregulation. It'll collapse healthcare costs by 50% over the course of a quarter, right? Which is about how long we have until this next alleged shutdown is coming. And if Trump is able to do anything meaningful like that between now and then, the Democratic Party doesn't have fucking shit to say about it.
Correct.
Trump reclaims that as a Republican issue, which it should have been in the first place. And that's the end of it.
I just think there's too many people who are taking funding from Big Pharma on both sides. That's, oh boy. I think it's tough, man. Even fucking Bernie Sanders out there and his bullshit stumping around. And then they found out that he took 2.6 from, a pharmaceutical company last year, 2.6 million. And he's like, oh yeah, but my other people in fucking Senate took way more than I did. It's still $2.6 million, you fucking dick. And watching the process, by the way. I don't know, when's the last time you've been to a pharmacy? Have you been recently at all? So when we do these live shows, typically the week after, as we're shouting, partying, do whatever, I'll have trouble with my voice. I'll get some fucking cough syrup and get through the day so I'm not hoarse and don't sound like shit. Obviously, this is an audio show. And I watched them do it on this last go-round just because I was shopping in the grocery store. There's just different nozzles now, and it takes them 10 seconds to do this shit. And as I was watching this process, I was thinking to myself, why the fuck is this so expensive for this one thing that it takes you 10 seconds to do?
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's like a fucking soda machine.
The labor component of it is part of it. Obviously, the R&D costs are the thing that they're always going to fall back on to try to justify the downstream costs and stuff. Plus the scrape that the insurance companies take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
But these are all things that don't actually provide the service to a customer. So it took you and I 2.5 years to get the flavors of this hard AF where we want it to be.
Correct.
Right? And we spent our own money on
Yep.
it. We took investments from people, but they get equity for their investment, so they get value out of it. It took us 2.5 years to do that. When we put our product out on the market, we have to price it competitively with everybody else, not add a surcharge for the research and fucking development we did.
Right.
I'm sorry, pharmaceutical industry, you're not making enough money. That's your fucking problem.
I know.
No, there are competitors in the market, competition in that market, and they should be allowed to compete as such. And if they don't, then we're going to continue having this price gouging bullshit. Just one competitor in the market for something like that takes away all this bullshit that they try to do all the time. That's just the way it is. There's no like, even car companies, you develop some new technology for a car, right? Minor, but it costs you, let's say it costs you $10 million to develop a new button on the truck that does something that nobody else's truck does. You don't get to fucking add. You can't go out into the market and charge $10,000 more for your truck. Nobody is going to buy it.
Right.
Nobody is going to buy it for that. That's just not how any market other than healthcare works. And it only works that way because of Obamacare and because the pharmaceutical industry is 100% subsidized in one form or another by the federal fucking government, which is to say your tax dollars, period. Right?
And to your point, this will go back to what you said about inflation earlier. When you look at the inflation numbers, they really are down under Trump, right? But then you wonder why some products are priced higher. There's a guy here named Hunter Wooden who just hit me up on Twitter, and he said, hey, I just bought 2 variety packs today after a trip to Cabela's with my son. I'm in Pennsylvania. It was $40 for 2 12-packs. Now, here's the issue I have with this. It leaves our warehouse at $12, right? We get $12, so it's $1 a can. So a 12-pack is $12 leaving us. Why the fuck are they upcharging $8 goddamn dollars? I mean, how much percentage is that? Because we see none of that fucking money.
That's 75%.
Yeah.
Or more.
So
80,
how many people are just taking advantage of what happened under the last administration and inflation, saying, well, shit, I got used to paying those prices for 4 years. Why the fuck should I drop them? But yet, when you and I went to Michigan, I walked into Total Wine, and I bought a 12-pack of Hard AF Seltzer for $15.99. That seems like a fair price to me. I made $4 essentially off of a fucking 12-pack. Great. That's okay for me. But yeah, this other shit that's going on, that's what the pharmaceutical company is doing too, where they look at this and they're like, well, how bad do you need these drugs? Do you want to stay alive? Awesome, man. We're going to charge you $1,200.
Well, that's the thing. This is not this part of the conversation. Like if you remove where the money comes from, this part of the conversation is where 98% of people agree. Like
That's what I think.
You are clearly gouging us. And the only reason you're allowed, there's 2 reasons they're allowed to gouge us. One is because people will die or suffer because they don't have it. And the second reason is because the government stepped in, picked sides, and it wasn't us, right? And they steal your money to subsidize all that shit. That's why, period, right? So there's 2 actions to be done then. There's 2 very clear actions to be done. One is the government exists to promote the general welfare of the people. That's what the Constitution says. The general welfare of the people is not promoted by price gouging drugs. It's not promoted by not having competition in the market. It's not promoted in any way to have your own health and life as such leveraged over you financially.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
one. The second one is obvious that the federal government shouldn't be involved in any way in paying for any of this. The federal government's job should be to protect its citizens, not to facilitate anything. That's not your job. Your job is not to collect revenue and pay for health care because you suck at everything you do. Your job is to make sure that that big company doesn't take advantage of me, to provide courts so I can sue them, to provide regulations so they don't kill me, and to provide regulations so they don't fucking bankrupt me. That's your job. End of fucking list.
One of my good friends from college is a doctor, hit me up. He listened to the show yesterday when we were talking about it, and he goes, "You ever consider the doctors in this whole situation?" And I was like, "How so?" And he goes, what's the incentive to become a doctor anymore? And he goes, look, I'm old, and I've made my money and all that other shit, and I'm doing well, and I'm fine right now. But he goes, let's look at this next crop of kids that are coming up through college. Why would you pay for 8 years of school, not graduate until you're, 26, 27 years old, under a mountain of fucking debt, let alone you want to go to one of these top medical schools in the country to become one of the best doctors there is? What is the incentive for a doctor when you can't pay that back for fucking ever, dude? And I don't have an answer for it. Because that's also part of the problem.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be losing talent who just don't want to be a doctor anymore because they don't find it as a viable job.
Yeah, I think you should make it difficult to become a doctor. I don't think you should make it cost prohibitive, right? Because the Marine Corps is a very good example of this. The Marine Corps' whole shtick is you can't be us. Mm-hmm. Not like we need you. It's like you can't be me. That's the Marine Corps, right? It's why they've never missed their recruiting numbers ever. Because the same reason having a fucking restaurant without a sign on it, or having a restaurant you say that you're booked for the first 2 weeks. It's the same psychological principle. If it's difficult, high performers will seek it out and try to do it, period.
Yep.
Right? But if you add that other element to it, the economic element
Cost.
that fucks them for 15, 20, 30 years maybe, then why would they? It doesn't make any sense. It is, you raise the standard to become a doctor and lower the cost, and we will have more and better doctors, period.
Because the last thing he told me, too, was to watch out for the nursing profession. He thinks that is on the rise. I know we were talking about professions yesterday as well, and he goes, look, man, if you're a nurse, in which that's only a 2-year school, I believe, after you finish, or a 1-year school. Forgive me if I'm wrong, nurses out there. I'm sure you can correct me in the chats. They can dictate what city they want to live in, their fucking salary, everything, because there's such a shortage out there. And he goes, dude, if you're a fucking nurse right now, you're looking easy 6 figures and picking where you want to fucking live.
I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. People have been bitching about AI taking jobs lately.
That ain't going to take those.
Well, it's not going to take those first, but there are so many jobs that not only is AI going to create more net jobs? There's more net jobs than losses. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. It's not even close. It's like 2/3 more jobs created than lost. And there's this new phrase that people are using, and I think it makes sense. Maybe it's a better way of saying learn to code, but it's not, because you're talking about a complete career change. This is called upskilling, and it's where you take your job right now, figure out how AI is going to interface with it, and then find either a direct AI related job or an ancillary offshoot of that, right? So one example is...
I had this conversation with Bob this morning, by the way.
One of them is like a CNC operator. CNC is mostly going to be controlled by AI, but there's still going to be fucking AI factory technicians. Mm-hmm. There's certain stuff that AI cannot do and won't be able to probably until the later part of this century.
Yeah,
is our expectation. Right now, there are people who are 3D print farm operators, but there are additive techs that are required for that to swap filaments, fix clogs in the machines, run quality scans, which sometimes you can only do with your literal human eyeball, right? Post-process metal parts, where you're like for example, a knife. You stamp out a knife and then you put it into, Josh Smith mentioned it earlier this week, you put it in a tumbler and it knocks some of the rougher edges off. When you build a complex angled piece of metal, somebody has to do that by hand.
Yeah.
There's not a machine that can do that yet. There's dozens and dozens of this. For each job that AI takes right now, there's 3 jobs that it's going to create if it's done correctly.
And it's jacking up the salaries of manual labor across the board.
Here's one.
Nurses.
Here's one people should know about in that nursing / medical field. So my buddy Austin Paget that I mentioned this morning told me about this shit. I didn't know about this until today. So everybody thought that AI was going to replace X-ray technicians entirely because it can do it all itself. Mm-hmm. Why would it need you? So they install all this hardware, all the software that comes with it, and it starts doing this stuff. And then they realize that the machine isn't capable of interpreting the goddamn the scan correctly. So now they have people who went from making like $150,000 to $200,000 a year doing the X-ray stuff who were good at it. Their hospitals are paying them $1 million a year now on average.
Holy shit.
To analyze these X-rays because the machine couldn't do it.
Yeah.
There's a gajillion of those fucking things.
Well, God forbid you missed it too, right? You'd be sued into the fucking Netherlands.
Yeah, I mean well, I don't know if the Netherlands is a great place to land after that.
You'd have to. You'd have to get out.
I think you'd have to go to the Congo or something.
I
have laws there.
I couldn't do. Man, hit the button, Ryan. I
Yeah,
don't want to say it.
NTF FabWorks says
I would have to go to the Netherlands.
FabWorks is in the chat. He made this live, life, love thing and that.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff. Yeah, deburring of parts that come off a CNC plasma or CNC laser, surface prep before the paint and powder coating. All that stuff has to be done by human beings still.
I'm
because you
working
have to,
with one now. Yeah.
You have to visually inspect it and make sure that it's not fucked up before you put it in a machine that can completely go haywire if it's not done correctly. I think the estimate from guys, it's McKinsey, I think, from McKinsey is that for every job that AI quote unquote takes, there's 3 to 5 ancillary jobs that it will create that people aren't even thinking about yet. But we need to be thinking about that now because you have to train for that shit now. You know, this stuff is we're 5 years ahead. We need to be 5 years ahead rather of training of where things are going to go. That's the way it is. And people are just like, again, this is one of those things that makes perfect sense. AI is not a doomsday pill. It's going to
a tool.
It's going to elevate the way we do business in a way that's never. This is what's going to happen with industrialization, reindustrialization of America plus AI is going to be way beyond what happened in the actual industrial revolution. So instead of having coastal areas or the Midwest where there's factories, there's going to be micro factories all over the country driven by AI, operated by the people who actually live there. And not only are the materials going to be made there, and then the payroll is going to also be there, which means that dollar is circulating 3 to 7 times before it leaves that local economy, which makes those local economies better. Also, we're going to be able to map that onto our fucking food production, which is what I've been saying for 10 goddamn years. 10 years I've been saying this. We need micro farms around every major city, right? Because there's no reason that you should ever have to wait or eat food that comes from more than 2 to 3 hours from you, right? That should be the standard. 2 to 3, somewhere between 2 and 3 hours away from you is where all of your food, literally all of your food, should come from, unless it's some specialty item or another. And we can do all that stuff using this new technology. We can move this stuff in. We can build, let's call it halos or green belts like London has around the city to do all this shit. And then your food is fresh. You're not spending all this money on freight. Our international highway system isn't clogged up with all this bullshit, right? And people can live in the country and work in the city. There's another application from this company called Joby Aviation. Baker's friends with them. I've had a number
Bon
of
Jovi?
show. No, Joby.
Oh,
J-O-B-Y.
man. I was hoping it was Bon Jovi.
It is AI-driven air taxis. It's like a little helicopter. You can put 6 or 8 people in there, and you can fly from your fucking farm that's on the edge of town into your city job every day, and it takes 20, 25 minutes. Shorter than the commute, less fucking shit on the ground. By the way,
They're doing a huge financial raise for that right now.
Yeah, it's a direct takeoff. It doesn't need a runway. It just goes straight up in the air. It's better than any public transit that we have right now. All of this stuff is happening, and it's going to make society, if we do it the correct way, the reason you need to be interested in, informed about, and involved in all this shit is so you can affect the outcome. All this technology can do a lot of different stuff. What we need it to do is to move us closer to nature, bring our food closer to us, bring the economy to a decentralized state back closer to us, so the revenue we benefit from, the products are there, we're not paying all the shipping and freight, and we don't have all these outside influences into our local community that they hold the fucking purse strings. All the money and product is here now, so they can't tell me what the fuck to do. All of this stuff can be done with the advancements in AI and some of these travel modalities if you just pay fucking attention. Just pay attention and be involved in it and stop crying about, God, every fucking thing, America's over, man. It's over. Are you out of your fucking mind? Come on.
Yeah, and speaking of free shipping, by the way, there's a company that I love, you guys love. AI's not going to ever take them down, and they have free shipping with the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. That's adamandeve.com, Bob. The greatest sex websites maybe ever created? Would you say that? Is that too lofty of
I don't think that's hyperbole at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. I've never gotten to the end of it, have you? And every day I'm surprised.
What is there like fucking? Isn't there like
I think there's over 50,000.
We just put it this
no?
way.
It's way more than that.
You can never go
Sex toys?
you can never go too deep on adamandeve.com.
Okay. How
if I'd
deep?
say it that
Can you
way.
get the last inch in there? Nailed it.
Final inch.
Final inch in there. Can we get it in
Close.
there? Can we jam it in there? No. What do we got here, Bob? We always do your specials today
Yeah.
because obviously promo code Drinkin. Did they change it on us too? By the way. Is it
Check
Drinkin' Bros?
whatever was in the copy. I don't think they have, but I didn't read the copy closely.
I know them so well though that I'm like shit. If they changed it, it's drinking now. It is. I knew it. I knew they fucking changed it. Just keep it Drinkin' Bros, motherfucker. It's drinking with a G. DRIKNIG. So you get free shipping over there and 50% off any item, dude. And that's rush processing. You want a dildo, you're going to be jamming it up your ass in 48 to 72 hours, which is awesome. But Bob always has his favorites. What do you got, Bob?
Well, what's hot in the news right now? Sometimes people need a sort of topical kink, and for me, it's 3-Eye Atlas. And that's why I go with Adam and Eve's Celestia 3-breasted alien love doll.
Look at that, dude.
Do we think that AI Atlas is an alien?
I mean, obviously.
Like a spacecraft?
It's an alien craft. The government doesn't want you to know. Get woke. This Epstein stuff's all nonsense.
Yeah, it sure is.
There are
dude.
aliens coming, and I just got to say, Adam and Eve's Celestia 3-breasted alien love doll is what you need with you.
Bob,
when they land.
That is a very good price.
Yeah,
That is $14.99 for that blow-up doll?
Plus the discount. And this is also a good reminder to watch a certain movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You may
Sure
remember.
is, dude. Total Recall.
Total Recall, but the original.
Yeah.
Watch the original Total Recall.
So what are the slits looking
This
like
is
on
realistic
Bob?
alien genitalia.
Why'd
on the
you
Adam
use
and
the word
Eve.
slits?
You gotta jam your wiener in there somehow.
Yeah, but there's I assume there's a hole for the butt. There's no butt slit. Why would you say slit?
Because there's a slit on the front. Look at this.
I-
Are we
yeah.
allowed to show that?
No, I wouldn't.
I don't think so
I haven't.
either.
This is really. It's on the line. It
I
might
know.
be okay, but
You're
it's close.
Brian. You're this close to getting a channel deleted. This one's fine, right?
I think this should be
I think
fine.
this
I
should
think
be good.
so, right? That's just
Yeah,
It's just an inflatable dummy.
yeah, they're not showing you the
Why are you
the
scrolling,
innards
Rob?
of it. Well, here's why: is because the descriptions for all of the sex toys on AdamandEve.com are phenomenal. Here, what do we got, Bob?
You mean the reviews?
No, the
Oh,
description
the
of
description? Well, all right. Celestia is the alien babe you've been dreaming about. Teach her your earthling sex with some help from your partner or all by yourself. You'll both love exploring Celestia's body together, from 3 shapely and perky breasts down to her pink kitty. She wraps her arms around you in a hug as you look into her big black eyes. Show her your favorite position as your partner watches. It's inspired by, the versions of aliens we all know. It's approximately 5 feet tall. Now, this would be a gray.
5
Said
feet tall.
5 feet tall.
Yeah.
All right.
This would be
Shit.
this would be what's called a gray alien. Now there's several types. There's reptilians and all, but yeah, they went with the classic gray.
Smart.
Is there
Smart.
Excuse me, are there any reviews?
Let's check. This is a new item actually, so I don't know that there are reviews
Brand new
yet.
item,
Yeah, this
yeah.
is brand new on the site. Obviously, with 3-Eye Atlas coming in, got to give the people what they want.
And they do it, dude. They're on it. They're on the fucking cutting edge of technology and what everybody wants out there. So Adam and Eve wants to make your life easier. They offer discreet shipping, as your privacy is a priority, plus 100% free shipping with rush processing on your entire order. Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy. It'll all be packaged and sent discreetly for free and fast. Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away. That is 50% off one item, free shipping with free rush processing. Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom. Just go to adamandeve.com, select any one item. Could be an adventurous new toy you desire.
Yeah, I mean, look, and they have, just keep an eye out also for Black Friday and Christmas sales.
African American Friday?
Well, I know in this case it will be literally black.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them. Just enter the code DRINKING at checkout. That is DRINKING at adamandeve.com. This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast. So be sure to use the promo code DRINKING to get the discount, 100% free shipping, and fast and rush processing with the code DRINKING at adamandeve.com.
And look, when the aliens get here and they want to fuck, your buddies are going to look like idiots not knowing what to do with that third titty.
I know.
Yeah.
But you're going to know.
You'll know.
You've already...
Yeah, when it's time to clap those alien cheeks, you're going to be way ahead of the game. And the same way that you should be studying AI right now, you should be studying how to fuck aliens as well.
And I like that you put the alien face next to mine, Ryan, where it's just like,
staring at them in the eyes. Yep.
cool. I got to live with this the rest of my life.
Yeah. It's going to be an image on the internet
just
forever.
The two of us. Yeah.
Chris Beerworth is asking if he can use his SNAP benefits on Adam and Eve.
Great question. Well, how does that work?
Do they have edible lube or
Yeah, they
anything
do
on
have
there?
like edible undies and stuff like that on there. So
What if that's your meal?
Can you live on a diet of just fruit roll-up underwear?
probably.
Because that's what it is. Fruit roll-ups.
It's not fruit roll-up underwear.
That's what it's made of.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
We've tried it.
No, it's not good.
It's not. None of it's good. It's
Yeah,
like
but it's
a.
like that's essentially what it is.
It's some type of fabric. It's hard to. God, I can't think of a food. It's not a fruit roll-up. It's like shit.
Fruit roll-ups are eligible for SNAP benefits, so I don't see why this wouldn't be.
Because you can't get it off your body is the problem.
No, you can get it off.
That edible. Bob, look up the material for edible panties, and I hate to do this to you on a Thursday. Obviously, you're going to go home and see your wife and kids tonight. It's like, what'd you do? What did Dad do at work today?
And then if you live, obviously, in a...
Actually, they don't have edible panties on Adam and Eve, I don't think.
That's why. Because they taste like shit. They taste like shit. My suggestion was like astronaut ice cream. But no. They didn't
Why would
do
they
that.
have that on here?
No, I want the taste to be like that. So the taste of it was terrible. I think we did it on a show way back in the day.
I mean, it says, similar to a fruit roll-up, chewy candies, licorice bindings, that type of thing.
Yeah. And then
I
if you're...
didn't have those.
If you live in Europe and you're worried about getting assaulted, just make it out of bacon.
That's all you got to do, dude. Yeah. Just make it out of fucking bacon.
Did you see, Bob, can we... we need to insert... I don't even know how far along on the show we are, but we need to insert a story here because it's...
Go ahead.
Did you see that the lockable underwear that are becoming popular in Europe?
I have heard about this.
Is this true? I've heard about it, but I can't tell if this is true.
I can't tell what it is.
Look up lockable underwear.
There's a fucking... Here it is. This is the video. I can't tell if this is like a fake meme or what.
Well, nobody can anymore. Oh, I think this is real, by the way.
Tear resistant. You can't cut it. No cortado. No puede cortada. And then there's a little lock on there. Man, this is going to be real dicey if you... all this is in Spanish. Considering the diet they have, do you want to have lockable underwear? You're going to shit your pants all the time. Also, who gets the key to it? Is your dad or husband?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because you can't, obviously, a woman can't be trusted with the keys to her own vagina or butthole, to be fair.
By the way, if this is your religion, and you say, hey, man, I got there's people that have to now sell lockable underwear to stay away from me. Probably a problem with that. Probably a fucking problem with that.
I'd look into it, yeah.
I mean, that's it. So here's where I heard about this story was like there were so many women being raped over in Europe. They're trying to combat it, but also not offend anybody. So this is what they're fucking recommending now, which is crazy to me. So I think this is real. By the way, the reason why it's in Spanish and all these other languages is because that's what's going on with these fucking migrants, which will lead to the next story here. Muslim immigration fraud. This release is a month old now, but we never saw it somehow, which is sweet. In another example of the administration not doing a great job in messaging, here's the message. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, in coordination with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, conducted Operation Twin Shield, the first of its kind targeted to surge of fraud, detection, and deterrence activities across Minneapolis, St. Paul, and surrounding areas, September 19th to the 28th. Immigration officers discovered a suspected fraud in 275 cases in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I'm not shocked by this, but I also did not hear about this story.
Of the case, yeah, I didn't hear about it either. I just heard about it today, actually. USCIS officers focused on more than 1,000 cases that had fraud or ineligibility indicators. They conducted 900 site visits and in-person interviews and found evidence of fraud, non-compliance, or public safety or national security concerns in 44% of those cases.
Jesus Christ.
Of all the Muslims that they looked into in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, the MSP metro area, 44% they had to refer for investigation or prosecution.
Yeah.
Like direct investigation or prosecution. Nearly half of all Islamic immigrants in Minnesota found to have committed crimes. Illinois, immigration fraud, marriage fraud style stuff.
She married her fucking brother.
Tax
Why
fraud.
is she still here?
I have no idea. Tax fraud, loan fraud. By the way, the other day she goes, deport me. I'll go back.
Yeah.
I can live anywhere.
She
I'm
goes,
like, all right, cool.
I'd love to live there.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. No one would love to live in Somalia. That's why they try to get the fuck out. But
That's why they're all here.
tax fraud, loan fraud, bribery, forgery, perjury, bigamy is a big one. Incest during a recent sweep of the Department of Homeland Security. I have a plan
Okay.
that I think can solve this.
Is it a plan or a dream?
It's a plan.
Okay.
And I'm going to detail it for you right now. This is the test that I would have before somebody can become a permanent resident and then become a citizen.
All right.
Okay. So the first thing is a language proficiency module, practical fluency. So standardized exam adapted from the TOEFL or CEFR, the English-speaking countries, requiring a B2 plus level, which is an independent user, which means you can walk around in public and communicate, you can read signs, all that shit.
Yeah.
You may not understand idioms and all the more broad stuff, but you can do that. And then a real-world simulation test with a 30-minute unscripted conversation with native speakers on everyday topics, work, news, hobbies, recorded and scored by AI for accent-neutral fluency, vocabulary, and some degree of idiom usage, which means you understand local references.
So what you're saying is, if let's say the guy's name was Mohammed, you'd have to say, "Hey, Mohammed, I can't understand a fucking word you're saying, so you got to pronounce these words a little more clearer."
No, I mean the AI adapts for their accent.
Okay.
I was gonna say, so it doesn't matter if they have an accent.
It has to be intelligible, but certainly
You gotta,
gonna
have that.
like at least the machine has to know what they're saying. This is, by the way, these two.
I
steps,
like that. I was on a flight back from Miami, and I couldn't understand these fucking people.
These first two steps come before you can even apply for your green card or permanent resident status.
I like it.
The second one, which also would be under that, is civic knowledge and values alignment module. 100-question multiple choice exam proctored on history, the founding documents, key events, government, constitution, voting rights and obligations, values, an essay, written essay graded by AI on why individual liberty is better than collectivism in the United States context. Behavioral pledge, sign an affidavit renouncing conflicting ideologies, ergo support for Sharia law over secular law, with penalty should that not be kept. And then community service, 100 hours of volunteering in host country institutions, schools, charities, homeless shelters, whatever, verified by logs, signatures, all that stuff. That is before you complete those two things. Now you can become a permanent resident, which puts you on a 5-year track to become a citizen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the pre-naturalization requirements during that 5-year period. One, the first thing you have to do is complete Section 2, the civic knowledge and values alignment again, but a more advanced version of that.
Okay.
Because you're about to become a citizen. 3 is that you have to have an economic self-sufficiency module, productivity we'll call it. The test component is an employment record of 4+ years, continuous work at a median wage, no public assistance, tracked by tax returns and the IRS, financial literacy quiz, how to budget, what taxes are in this country and how they work, credit scores, all that stuff, and then an entrepreneurial option. If you started a business that's generating income, local minimum income for a year or longer, then you don't have to have the 4 years of requirement. If you spent that time building a business, you should get rewarded for that.
Sure.
Right? Step number 4, technically, although it's 3 in this section, is social integration module, which is First, social network audit. Submit contacts showing that equal to or greater than 50% native-born friends and colleagues. You're not just hanging out with people that came from fucking Somalia with you.
Sure.
You have actual American friends. The second part of that is intermarriage or cohabitation. You get bonus points if you're partnered with a native, like if you've married an American citizen, and especially if you've had children with them, then you get bonus points on your social network audit because statistically, according to Pew Research, child assimilation, the first and second generation assimilation, goes up by 1,000% if one of the parents is native born.
I agree with that.
Okay. So cultural participation, attend 20-plus host events, sports, concerts, holiday parties, art shows, whatever the fuck, with photos and receipts, and hosting parties at your house that are mixed group, different religions and customs and cultures and all that shit. And then the last part of that would be longitudinal behavior tracking, which is zero crimes or terrorism links or fucking talking shit on social media about any of that stuff, or being anti-government or anti-West or anti-capitalism. Obviously, an FBI background check up to that date. Voting in local elections, if it's applicable, if you're allowed to. Some non-citizens are allowed to vote in local elections. They should take part in the democratic process. Your child enrollment in public schools, and again, not being on public assistance in any way, because you're not going to be a fucking leech on our country. And then an exit interview, which circles back to the written essay portion where you're having a 30-minute unscripted, proctored conversation about your cultural identity. Do you identify primarily as an American? Or something else, and if it's something else, you're fucking gone, right? But you don't directly ask the question. You ask the question in a way that will deliver the answer. And then some additional rules to that are a new citizen cannot sponsor another person for citizenship until 15 years after they've been naturalized, which means you come here, you do this stuff for a while, you become a permanent resident, you have your 5-year clock, you meet all these requirements, you get naturalized as a citizen, an N-400 naturalization form as a citizen. And then you have to wait 15 years before you can sponsor another citizen. None of your fucking aunts, uncles, and grandparents coming into the country just because you got here. Fuck off. Everybody gets to earn their way. Children who come with their parents have to go through the entire process as well.
Okay.
All of it. And you get credit from your parents being employed. Like once you're 18, you can apply for an N-600 citizenship with your parent as a sponsor, but your parent has to fulfill all this stuff. All of it. And you have to fulfill the language and the cultural parts of it yourself. You don't just get in because your parents got in. Fuck you. And then no exemptions. Special immigrant visas have to meet the same requirements, as do medical waiver N-648s. Right now, if you apply for naturalization in this country and you fill out and have accepted an N-648 waiver, you cannot speak the language or anything. You don't even have to take the civics test and you become a citizen. Well, fuck that. Because we're not trying to bring in a bunch of decrepit retards into this country. We have enough as it is. So I think if you can meet these basic requirements, then you get in. If you can't, you're gone.
Can I add one thing to it?
Sure.
You must watch 20 hours. Your choice, 80s or 90s, WWE or WWF wrestling.
What era?
That's the thing. You can pick the Attitude Era, or you can go back to Hogan versus Savage in the 80s, and we just got to know, who was the best wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
Any answers are acceptable except the Iron Sheik.
I think, yeah. Yeah, you could definitely, tell something about somebody based on the era that they chose.
Fuck yeah. And at least they watched and paid attention. They know what real America is about.
I like that.
It's wrestling. And I like this list.
Wrestling is real America.
Fuck yeah, it is. So is Ketone IQ, our next sponsor here. Ketone IQ. Shit, it sits next to me right here on the desk every fucking day. I take a shot of it before I do every single show. And then a shot if I'm writing late at night. I was up super late at night. I had a shot of this as well. What is it? It's just a fucking clean shot of energy that is a boost. A nice little energy boost. Keeps you focused. Keeps your mind sharp. And if you're working out, let's say you're out of gas mid-workout, you can fix the fuel. And a double-blind placebo-controlled study on trained athletes, Ketone IQ, delivered a 19% increase in average power during repeated sprints, 13% peak power versus placebo, 10% less fatigue, 5-time increase in blood ketones within 20 minutes, and every single fucking Olympian. Tour de France is sponsored by them. DOD is working with them. That's how they started. DOD dumped a bunch of money into these guys. You got the contents up there, Bob? Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different facts and figures and fun stuff up here.
Yeah, look at all that, man. I mean, these guys are the best in the biz. They got new flavors. They got peach. They got green apple. And they're getting better and better, man. Go to ketone.com/Drinkin Bros for 30% off your subscription order. Plus, you'll receive a free gift with your second shipment. I got a free 6-pack on my last one, which was dope. Or you can find Ketone IQ at Target stores nationwide and get your first shot for free. These are fucking rad, man. It's not like that shit at the gas station that makes you jittery or freak out, maybe punch your dog or cat. Nothing like that, dude. You're not chopping up pills and then snorting them off a fucking counter. This is great. Keeps you locked in all day, and you're good to go. Next up, we got how the FCC can rebalance the media. Streaming giants such as Amazon Prime Video, Netflix, and YouTube dominate Americans' living rooms today because they can reach virtually everywhere without the regulatory shackles that are decimating traditional broadcasters. Now, the FCC is considering updating a quarter-century-old rule to give consumers more choice on entertainment and news while revitalizing local broadcast TV. The rule in question is the National Audience Reach Cap, a regulatory fossil that prohibits ownership of TV stations that together reach more than 39% of American households. The cap was first implemented in 1941, years before the transistor radio shit was invented, and decades before cable television, high-speed internet, and paid streaming services. All of us, which are use throughout every single device we use every single day, pretty much. The cap was conceived to prevent monopoly in an era where we had relatively few choices. When you go back to old black and white TVs, you only had 3 channels.
3 channels, yeah. And it's like the rule today is not only fucking dumb and unnecessary, it does exactly the opposite. It doesn't foster any real consumer choice. It's more likely to hinder competition by protecting a handful of established and entrenched special interests, which is what these broadcast stations are, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a big problem. So when the ownership cap was enacted, as you mentioned, broadcast TV dominated the market. There were only 3 channels for a long period of that.
Oh, yeah.
Became 4 later, but mostly 3 for the majority of that.
All the way up through the 80s.
Yeah. And then now streaming services are 46% of total TV users. YouTube alone is 12.8%. Almost 70% of broadcasts ever shrinking, 18.5% market share. So for the past 20 years, big tech and big media have used their market power to force California values and narratives on the American people. And that's what all of late night television is right now.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. All of late night television other than Gutfeld, right?
And
the fact that...
and Jimmy Fallon.
He does it too. He just does it in a more cowardly way than the rest.
Yeah. Oh, I watched him the other night.
It's not every show, but it's a lot of shows. But Elon with Twitter put a big dent in that. But for the most part, it's social media and it's the broadcast media doing this stuff. Thanks to Trump, companies like Google are losing their grip on the information ecosystem. The Justice Department is breaking that stranglehold and for online news. You've seen that over the last couple months. Now the FCC is fighting conservative censorship on social media as well. And even in Texas, we had a bill passed to that effect, but we need more federal stuff. So the FCC under Chairman Brendan Carr, who was just talking shit to these people today, go to Brendan Carr's Twitter. He was talking all kinds of shit today, Bob. He's empowering local broadcasters to better compete with big tech and big media. Carr recognizes the problem, and he has launched inquiries into the unfair leverage that networks have over local broadcasters. We saw some of this stuff with that Jimmy Kimmel thing.
Yeah.
Where Star and the other one, I can't remember the other one, Nexstar and the other one, that control a lot of the... Sinclair, yeah. They control a lot of the smaller media companies. Were able to fight back thanks to what Brendan Carr and Trump have done with the FCC so far. That could not have happened otherwise, right? So he launched inquiries into the unfair leverage. Importantly, stronger local broadcasters would be better to shape the programming choices of national networks. So think about, you live in a small town that's somewhat conservative, right? But the ABC 6 or ABC 8 or whatever the fuck number it is still is parroting this fucking nonsense from DC or California all the time.
Yeah.
Or New York. It's one of those three all the time. You're like, what the fuck? I just want local news. I don't want to hear about this leftist bullshit.
Local news has gotten into that leftist bullshit lately.
Some of them have,
Yeah.
but mostly it's because they're controlled by the top level broadcaster.
Correct.
When you see those compilation videos of like dozens of people at a
Yep.
time saying the exact same phrase, that is the network saying you have to run this.
Correct.
Basically, right? We want to get rid of that shit. So imagine if ABC and NBC had to produce programming that appealed to all of Americans, not just Los Angeles and New York City. That's what they're looking for here. And Trump is successfully reshaping the media to bring long overdue balance to the public square, eliminating the broadcast national ownership cap. Could be the most important move in cementing that legacy. Cars should move swiftly to delete this rule entirely, and I think they're working on it. But just if you see this stuff out in public, if you see it on Twitter or social media or in a local election somewhere or in a conversation, I'm telling you that it is the right move to do, and the White House should put its full support behind his effort as well, because this will be one of those things that decentralizes the news media for the next 25 or 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
It'll have the same kind of impact in the broader news media sphere that two things: one, Elon buying Twitter, and two, Trump suing these assholes for lying, have had massive effects so far. I mean, just look at the New York Times coverage of this Epstein release. If you haven't seen what they've had to say about this so far, it has been to exonerate Trump, because those are the facts. And you say, of course, those are the facts, so of course they're going to report that. Well, nobody really believes that anymore, right?
No.
Not about the Times or the Post or any of these fucking cable news organizations. Now they're being forced to. The View is being forced to say, that's our opinion, not a legal fact, because they keep getting sued for lying about shit. This is the next step. The next step is to break this broadcast cap license or license cap bullshit and let true decentralization take over, so the best ideas make it out there. Not just that, so that the content becomes bespoke to the area it's in, which is what our system of federalism is all about. I might not like what New York or LA has to say, but they're well within their right to say it. I don't want to hear it. So you shouldn't be in control of what we're hearing over here. That's the whole point of our system of government.
And that's why, you guys know this about me. That's why I always watch local news wherever I live, is because I want to know what's going on in my community, my neighborhoods, my weather, my shit. And I know, watching ABC News or NBC News or CBS News, it's fucking heavily curated, and it's always slanted left, where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man.
But even now, you might get like half or a third or 2/3 maybe on a good day of local news, plus the rest is all fucking leftist bullshit.
Dude, it's all
even on your local news station now.
Correct. And yesterday when I was watching local news, there was a guy that was murdered in front of our old studio downtown, right? And I like that. I wanted to know that there were still murders going on down there. I think Joel saw 2, and that was a beautiful thing. But dude, I love this, and I hope this happens, by the way, for real. Because it'll create more opportunities. It'll also add more creativity to your communities. And man, I miss the days where you could go. It used to be a law, by the way. I don't know if it still exists, but where you could go on public access in your local community, and all you had to do was go down there and reserve it for an hour. And you had to turn in what you were going to talk about, but you could go on there and fucking do some weird shit. Teach fucking basket weaving.
I mean, you could have some famous cable access news stuff over the years.
Oh,
there have been some that
Tom Green did it.
Tom Green got his start there.
Yeah,
that's right.
do you know who else was? Alex Jones here in Austin. He was doing local shit here for a long time, but yeah, dude, I just think it helps, and it opens it up to the community.
Oh,
you meet
Wayne's
other
World.
people, and yeah, dude,
You could get Wayne. Well, I mean, that's not real.
It's not
obviously.
real. But
I want to say, I actually just read this the other day. Joel, what's his name from Community?
McHale.
Joel
McHale,
McHale got his start in Seattle TV.
That's
Like,
really funny.
Yeah.
he was in an improv troupe. He also played football for Washington, but
It's
he was in an
super
improv
fucking
troupe
helpful. So like you take my father's show, the dead one, by the way. It was local to the, like, I want to say it was like I don't know, 3 huge cities or whatever it was. Chattanooga, Nashville, I forget what the other one was, maybe Memphis or something like that. But you could go on there. You meet these people from the community. They're, talking about what they're doing, the events, the organizations, all that other stuff. They were proud to go on. They were amped to go on. They were on TV and they were sharing their shit. And it helps get the word out when, let's face it, maybe some 43-year-old lady isn't going to be hip to social media to sell her fucking dolls or something like that, whatever it is. So I don't mind any of that because all of it, I think, helps the community. So, yeah, dude, this would be a great idea. Will it happen? We'll see. Who has to vote on this?
No one.
Okay, great.
No one. So this is one of those things. I think that cap is a regulation, and the regulation wouldn't even stand up to the new Chevron decision. So you might be. I'll look into that further and get some more information on that, so you guys know what you're talking about if you get in a tiff about any of this stuff. But I'm pretty sure this can be. I'm pretty sure that a state governor somewhere or a state AG could sue, and it should immediately get killed for that reason.
Yeah.
But then again, if that's the case, Brendan Carr can just knock this shit down himself. So put this up on screen. This is NBC News whining about a bipartisan group of former FCC leaders petitions the agency to repeal the policy the Trump administration invoked in discussions surrounding Jimmy Kimmel, ABC, and the investigation of 60 Minutes at CBS. Absolutely not.
No.
The broadcast, you can change the rules if you want, but they've been the same for a long time. If you are issued a broadcast license, you are required to meet the public interest obligation associated with it. It's the same thing as a 501c3, right?
Yeah.
You're required to perform some public good outside of your company's charter in some way or another, right? It's the whole point of this stuff was that we funded all this, we manage all this as a country. We don't want state-run media, so we're not going to tell you what to say, but you do have to provide some public benefit, and lying goes counter to that. And if we can prove you're lying, you're going to get fucking fined and sued, period. And NBC News is like, a bipartisan group of people don't want to get fired and sued and fined. Yeah, I bet they don't. Stop
again,
lying.
Pop it up on the screen here, Bob.
Stop fucking lying, asshole.
It's NBC News, which would cut into NBC News if this passes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, huge shock. They're going to be pissed off about it because, let's face it, man. You watch NBC News lately? Jesus Christ, man. That couldn't be more slanted if you were on a fucking tilt-a-wheel. Next up, last but not least here today, we got the Iranian Revolution. What's going on over there? Colonel Sajjad, Iranian Army. I don't know how to pronounce these.
Sajjad
Close enough.
Azadeh.
Man, we should just have a call to prayer button for this. Look into that, Byron.
Okay.
Please.
Something would have to leave, though. That's the unfortunate thing.
What are our options here? Because I feel like they're obviously taking over every city now at this point. So what do we have to leave? Press them all here. Let's let the let's get a
obviously
vote.
we got that's
that's staying forever.
We also got
Oh, that's gotta stay, dude. So that one stays. What else?
we have
Yeah, we need it.
gotta keep that.
We need it for our listeners to come down.
the other two that we maybe could get rid of. We have a Crime Corner and Nature Nook on there.
Crime
That would
Corner.
be the only spot I could get rid of, but that's a good one too. I don't want to get rid of that.
What do you guys do for Crime Corner? Do you play the song? What do you guys do?
I
over
think
there?
that's really only for our PR. That's the weakest link for sure.
It
Then
probably
I would
is.
replace it with the whatever the fuck that is.
Nature Nook's not going anywhere.
No.
Yep.
Nature Nook's got to stay for us, Patterson Revolution. Because
We got to get back on track here.
Well, here's the thing. I cannot pronounce these fucking names. Therefore, I would love just a goddamn call to prayer so everybody knows what the fuck we're doing here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sajjad Azadeh of the Iranian Army Ground Forces, Artesh, has publicly announced his defection from the Islamist regime in Iran, pledging allegiance to Iran's Lion and Sun flag. It's the flag of the Shah before the Ayatollah took over.
All right.
He declared that, quote, great things are underway and that soon the regime of lies, deceit, and occupation will come to an end. This marks the latest in a growing wave of defections following the launch of the National Cooperation to Save Iran campaign by Iran's king in exile and national leader, His Majesty Reza Shah Pahlavi, maybe, the second. The campaign aims to organize and coordinate mass defections from within Iran's armed forces. According to official reports, tens of thousands of Iranian military officers have already reached out to the campaign through secure communications channels established under the supervision and leadership of King Reza. In addition, Colonel Ibrahim Kamazani,
Wouldn't it be easier to play the call to prayer button?
of the Iranian Regular Army's Aviation Division, appeared alongside the Lion and Sun flag this morning and issued a direct call to the Iranian people. Quote, I invite the people of Iran to, on Sunday, November 16th, with the flag of the Lion and Sun, initiate a million-strong march for the transition from the Islamic Republic regime. I think on Tuesday, on the Tehran metro, so the subway in Tehran, what appears to be 2 Iranian soldiers, actually confirmed now, 2 Iranian soldiers were holding up the pre-79 Lion and Sun flag while pushing away a regime supporter trying to remove it. My understanding is now that these 2 dudes have been arrested by the regime. But there is an uprising happening. We'll see how far it goes, and I think there's a decent chance that some of these people are being funded and supported by Mossad as well. I would imagine so, right?
Sure.
That would make a lot of sense. Like, certainly.
Why wouldn't we?
Same. If the CIA and Mossad are trying to fund a king coming back and taking some more or less secular king coming back and taking control, somebody that's like King Abdullah taking control of Iran, that would be best for Iran and definitely best for the world. I don't know that there's any direct involvement. I just assume there would be.
Sure.
But here's, Bob, you can see the links here. That one, this is the 2, blow this up. This is the 2 fucking soldiers holding stuff, and then they got arrested later, shortly after this.
Okay.
But some dude tries to come up and steal the flag. This would essentially be like somebody holding up a
American flag in Los Angeles?
Well, yeah. Like, I was going to say American flag in Portland, but yeah. And then I don't know if it's in this video, but somebody tries to come steal it, and they fucking push him down. And then these 2 guys got arrested shortly after this encounter. And then you can see the videos, the next 2 links. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Fuck off, nerd. Yeah. Go fucking do some shoulder presses first. That guy's got no shoulders.
Nothing, dude.
He's about to get his ass whipped, too. Yeah. So, this is all going on in Iran right now. It's very interesting to see this because the youth in Iran have wanted this for a very long time. The problem is the military never stood up. They need a military coup there.
Yeah, and the other part of this is we've played and showed these videos from the 70s of what Iran used to be like. I'm sure that a lot of those people are still alive from that generation. They're like, hey, dude, it would be awesome to go back and take off this fucking bullshit off my face.
Well, it's the inverse of the 70s Americans, where they were trying to overthrow capitalism and shit, but they were too fucking high to do anything.
Right.
And now they're coming back in the form of wokeness.
Yeah, sure.
In Iran, it's like normal people who wanted to be normal and have a king because that's what they like there. They like kings. Yeah. They don't want democracy like you have. I mean, there's some monarchical democracy that happens over there, but they want a king. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So let them have it. I like this a lot. I hope this succeeds.
What's
but I don't
this
know.
video right here, by the way?
This is one of the colonels.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
It's all in Iranian or whatever Persian.
No, I'm fluent.
Farsi.
Yeah, I can tell what he's saying.
The second one, though, I think is transcribed, or it's either transcribed or it's translated.
This first part, he was talking about Taco Bell getting rid of the Mexican pizza for so long. If he goes, if America can bring that back, then maybe we can bring back what Iran was in the 70s. Very beautiful description there. Very, very beautiful.
Maybe it was just that they transcribed so that. Yeah, the first guy said what I said in the thing. I invite the people of Iran to, on Sunday, November 16th, with the flag of the Lion and Sun, initiate a million-strong march for the transition from the Islamic Republic.
Transition's a big word right there. I mean, you're pretty close to saying overthrow.
I mean, that they don't say they don't have a word for overthrow. Transition is what they mean.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, overthrow is what they mean. But yeah, yeah, I think these are two pretty. So this one colonel has been Azadeh has been in trouble with them before, and they threw him in like under house arrest for a while. But this has been going on for a long time, and the daughter of King Reza II is on social media chirping about it too. Like they're trying to take the country back right now,
which is awesome.
Yeah, and the people are. This is why Iran has been trying to drum up. One, they've been suppressing riots and protests
for years.
But also why they, have all these foreign conflicts going on, is to try to keep the people in the country from fucking going crazy. But the unemployment rate is like 80% or some shit.
Over in Iran?
Yeah, it's something crazy.
I didn't know that.
It's something crazy. So the economy's really bad, and they're like, not too dissimilar from a conversation that's happening in Washington, D.C. right now. Like, hey, we can't afford food and housing. Can we stop giving money to Ukraine and Israel, please? Well, that's what Iranians are saying to Iran. Like, hey, we can't afford food and housing. Can you stop picking fights with people that kick our ass all the time? Mm-hmm. Can we just live?
No, you can't, dude. You can't. People just don't want to live, I think. It's not good enough to just live. You got to be pissed off about something on a fucking daily basis. So, yeah, dude. And then also, we got some breaking news here to end. It's Jeff Bezos' rocket Blue Origin just successfully landed its new Glenn rocket booster on a barge in the middle of the ocean.
Sweet.
25 years after the founding. It's like, man, there's people out there doing great shit. To go back to your points of the American dream and what we can and cannot do, and if we're worried about AI taking all this other shit, it's just a tool to help out with the rest of this shit, because, man, watching this video right now, it's pretty fucking impressive, dude. Two dudes who have no idea about rockets fucking did it. So good for them. All right, now's the point of the show. We get to the Drinkin Bro of the Week. You could send your submission through drinkinbros.com. We got all the new merch up here. I'm wearing it right now. Fuck you, Brandon. This OD Green foamy is dope as shit. It's with the new logo on there. Boom, there it is. Also got the new fucking. This is all for. Woo, there we go. Just got the new shakers in here. Let's go. The tumblers are in. Oh shit! I haven't seen that hoodie. Will you blow up that hoodie? Why don't you send me that, fucker? That's dope. Dude, I'll order that right when the thing is over. When the show is over here. Let's go, dude. All right. Yeah, so for Veterans Day, he did a bunch of sweet merch, but obviously we don't profit off of it on Veterans Day, so we put it up now. There we go, right there. These are dope, dude. Way to go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. All right? Also, you can submit for Drinkin Bro of the Week on Drinkin Bros app. It is free on iPhones and Androids. All you got to do is just don't be a dick. That's it. You can do whatever you want on there. There's crazy shit going on in there, and I love it. We got video. There's a wall there it's the old school Facebook like Zuckerberg, pre-Zuckerberg, I guess, before all the shit got deleted. You can post whatever you want. But he's making new friends, having parties in there. Fucking love to see it. Love to see it. Or you can stop into the lovely studio. Do we still have any listeners back there today?
No, but we do need. There is one thing that we need to address.
Good.
I don't know where to get a turban.
Oh, and do they not sell them on
I don't know
Amazon?
What kind of I don't know how we should do this really. Maybe we should have the fans pick a turban.
Okay.
Somehow.
Is there
like
turbans on Bob? You look up turbans on Amazon?
Yeah, there definitely are some. But we need to let's be clear about this. We need the most racist thing we can imagine.
Yeah, obviously.
Right.
Obviously.
So I don't know.
Oh, I like that one. That brown one in the middle, that red one. That's a nice one right there.
Yeah, we need something. It can't
Those
just
are more
be
Sikh,
like
though.
Yeah, those are definitely Sikh, but that's so some.
Oh man, those are Sikh.
Some dude was chirping at us on, I don't remember if it was Instagram or Twitter, about how that's not even a Muslim, that's a Sikh head. But we don't care, right?
No, we don't care.
We'll make fun of everybody, and part of making fun of you is intentionally misunderstanding your culture, conflating it with somebody else. We do not care.
We do not care.
So I want the dumbest looking one possible. I don't want that.
Anybody who's Latino is a Mexican to me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Anybody from Asia is a neezer to me.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do about that. All right.
So you guys can have some input, but it's got to come soon because I'm getting tired. Like,
there's some beautiful ones.
I want to do it.
What's your head size?
Large.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you go for fitted, by the way?
I think I'm like a 7 3/8.
Okay. Dude, I'm at 7 7/8, man. If I hit a fucking ocho, my dome's getting too big. I might as well start taking steroids.
You
at
should
that
get a
point.
head
Jesus
reduction. Well,
Christ.
steroids won't do anything, but HGH will. You should
No. But if it's going to be this big, it might as well get bigger. Give me a Serena Williams head, dude. All juiced up.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So this one just came in here. Drinkin Bros submission from drinkinbros.com. This is Cody O'Sullivan. I haven't heard an O'Sullivan in a long time, dude.
It's too much Irish in one name.
Oh, Cody O'Sullivan. From Missouri, Bob. Listener for 4 years, nominating Brian Living. My dad has been a police officer for 20 plus years and was recently promoted to master sergeants. I don't know of anyone more deserving of Drinkin Bro of the Week than him. He is an incredibly upstanding officer and an even better father. He is a regular listener of the show, so I'm sure he'll hear this. I hope so too. Shout out to you, man. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Shit.
congrats on the promotion. I'm still only going to call you sergeant, which is the appropriate honorific for a master sergeant.
No.
Some people want to be called master sergeant. I'm sorry, it's just sergeant until you're a first sergeant, which is the same rank but a different billet.
Hey, not to me, all right? I'm going to call you master sergeant because, well, I like slavery. And obviously the term master has really been thrown under the rug lately. The primary bedroom. I talked to somebody about that the other day. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you talking about the master bedroom? And they were like, well, we call it a primary one now. Get the fuck out. Get out. There will be masters here, okay? Maybe we are. Who knows at the end of the day. Go to Spotify. Rate the show a 5-star video. If it's on YouTube, it's on fucking Spotify. So this video will be up tonight. And then Patreon is always Patreon there for Drinkin Bros podcast. And then head on over to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Yes, that is all the advertisers care about. They don't have video, though, so fuck them. I'd roll on over to Spotify, but do what you want. It's a free goddamn country, all right? You're your own fucking person. Voila! For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin Bros Fake News. Good night, everyone.